Millions lost everything, and the people responsible walked away richer. There is a strange quiet that follows every financial disaster. After the panic, after the headlines, after the numbers become too large for the human brain to feel, homes are lost quietly, savings vanish quietly, dreams end quietly. But somewhere else, far above the noise, another silence exists, the silence of consequences that never arrive. Because in the greatest financial crashes in modern history, something unsettling keeps happening. The damage is enormous. Lives are destroyed. Entire generations fall behind. And yet, almost no one goes to jail. This is not an accident. This is a pattern. And this documentary is about how it keeps repeating. Every financial crash is born with an explanation. It's packaged neatly, repeated endlessly, and delivered with confidence. We're told it was bad loans, market volatility, unexpected risk, a few reckless actors. The language is always passive. Mistakes were made, systems failed, no one intended harm. And for a moment, people accept it, because believing in accidents is comforting. But then something feels wrong. If this was just an accident, why were so many warnings ignored? If this was just bad luck, why did the same institutions survive again and again? If this was unavoidable, why did a small group walk away wealthier? This is where the story begins to fracture. Long before every major crash, the signs appear. They always do. Risk models flash red. Internal memos raise concerns. Whistleblowers speak up. But warnings are inconvenient. They slow growth, threaten bonuses, endanger careers. So they are softened, delayed, ignored. Not because people are evil, but because incentives are powerful. In modern finance, rewards are immediate. Bonuses are paid yearly. Profits are measured quarterly. Stock prices move daily. But consequences? Those come later. Often years later. Often after the decision-makers have already left. The system rewards short-term risk and delays long-term accountability. This is not a bug. It is the design. Eventually, reality catches up. Liquidity dries up. Confidence evaporates. Markets seize. Suddenly, the language changes. What was once under control becomes unprecedented. What was once temporary becomes systemic, and panic finally becomes visible. When crashes hit, the damage spreads unevenly. Workers lose jobs. Families lose homes. Retirements shrink overnight. Small businesses disappear. Communities hollow out. For most people, there is no safety net, no bailout, no second chance. Then comes the moment that defines everything: the rescue. Governments step in, trillions appear, institutions are saved, not because they behaved well, but because they are too big to fail. Losses are socialized, gains remain private, and the message is clear: survive long enough, and the system will protect you. Financial crimes are complex. They are buried in paperwork, distributed across committees, hidden behind legal language. Responsibility dissolves. No single signature, no single villain. And without a villain, punishment fades. Many actions that cause massive harm are technically legal, because laws lag behind innovation, because regulation moves slower than markets. So destruction can occur without illegality. This creates a dangerous gap. What is devastating is not always criminal. Prosecution requires political will, and political will struggles against influence. Large institutions employ armies of lawyers. They fund campaigns. They advise governments. Punishing them risks destabilizing the system itself, so accountability is avoided in the name of stability. This is not new. It happened before, and before that. Different decade, same outcome. Crashes come, lives are ruined, and consequences quietly disappear. The real damage lasts far longer than the headlines. Lost wealth compounds, missed opportunities echo. Entire generations delay homes, families, futures, and the gap between those protected and those exposed grows wider. Because the system didn't change, it adapted. New instruments, new language, same incentives. And as long as consequences remain optional, crashes remain inevitable. The crash nobody went to jail for wasn't a failure of justice. It was a reflection of priorities. Stability over accountability, power over fairness. Finance isn't broken. It's functioning exactly as designed. And until consequences become unavoidable, this story will repeat. Every financial crisis asks the same question: who pays and who is protected? And history keeps giving the same answer. Financial systems are intentionally complex, not always to deceive, but complexity has consequences. When something breaks, blame spreads across. Committees, algorithms, models, risk officers, regulators. Responsibility dissolves into process. And prosecutors face a problem. You can't jail a spreadsheet. Every major institution is wrapped in paperwork, millions of emails, legal disclaimers, carefully worded approvals. Decisions are fragmented, so no single person owns the outcome. By design, harm becomes untraceable. Many regulators come from the industries they oversee, and many will return. This creates restraint. Aggressive enforcement today can destroy tomorrow's career. So pressure softens. Edges are rounded. Cases quietly fade. When consequences do appear, they rarely involve prison. They involve fines, large numbers that sound serious. But for massive institutions, fines are expenses, not punishment. No admission of guilt, no criminal record, just a transaction. Outrage has a short lifespan. New stories arrive. Attention moves on. Complex financial cases struggle to compete with simpler narratives, and without sustained attention, pressure disappears. While cases stall, damage compounds. Unemployment lasts longer than headlines. Mental health declines. Communities fracture. These costs never appear on balance sheets, but they are real. After every crash, reforms are announced. Rules tighten. Oversight expands. But slowly, quietly, exceptions return. Lobbying resumes. Language changes. Loopholes reopen. The cycle resets. The system survives because collapse would be worse. Punishing too hard risks destabilizing everything, so leaders choose continuity over correction. The cost is deferred. Crash, rescue, forget. Over and over. Different decade, same ending. Financial crashes do not end when markets recover. They end years later, inside families. Children grow up in homes shaped by lost savings. Education plans shrink. Careers are delayed. Risk tolerance disappears. One crash can quietly alter an entire life trajectory. Multiply that by millions. That is the real damage. Crashes do not hit everyone equally. Those with assets recover faster. Those without buffers fall behind permanently. Recovery is uneven, and each crisis stretches the gap wider, not because of effort, but because of timing. People remember loss more vividly than gain. A single collapse can change behavior for decades. Trust erodes, participation declines. The system becomes something to survive, not believe in. Every crash produces new rules. Every recovery produces new loopholes. Regulation tightens in public. Flexibility returns in private. Because markets evolve faster than laws, and pressure never disappears. Crashes are not anomalies. They are pressure releases. As long as incentives reward risk without punishment, instability accumulates. The names will change, the instruments will change, the outcome will not. The system does not need to be fair to survive. It only needs to be trusted enough. As long as people believe collapse is rare and accountability possible, participation continues. That belief is the real stabilizer. Justice feels delayed, but delay becomes denial, and denial becomes normalization. What once shocked becomes expected. This is how extraordinary damage becomes routine. No one goes to jail because the system was never designed for it. It was designed for continuity, stability over justice, survival over accountability. And as long as that remains true, the story will repeat. This story is not about fear. It is about awareness. Fear freezes people. Awareness prepares them. So don't watch headlines. Watch incentives. Who gets rewarded when risk increases? Who keeps their bonus even if the system breaks? Don't listen to reassurance. Watch liquidity. When money quietly moves to safety, it's not optimism, it's preparation. Don't follow speeches. Watch silence. When explanations get vague, timelines stretch and details disappear. Something important is being repositioned. Understand this. Crises don't announce themselves. They whisper through behavior. The goal isn't to panic early, it's to recognize patterns early. Because by the time fear becomes public, the most powerful decisions are already finished. The real lesson is simple and uncomfortable. The system doesn't collapse suddenly. It slowly transfers risk from those who can absorb it to those who can't. Once you see that, you stop asking why crashes happen. You start asking a better question. Who is being protected right now, and who isn't? That question won't make you rich, but it might stop you from being the last one left holding the cost.